What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin coming back to you with another video. In this video, I wanted to talk about E3 2018, mainly day 2. Day 1 was EA, and who cares about EA? They show Battlefield, they show Anthem, and the rest you probably don't care about. So I'm going to start with on day 2, which was yesterday. Microsoft went first, and then it was Bethesda. Now, of course, today you have Ubisoft, Square Enix, and Sony. So I'll probably cover Sony's afterwards. I don't think I'm gonna go through Ubisoft's or Square Enix unless they, have a really good showing. Then I may talk about it probably with the Sony one, because I really don't feel like making separate videos. And I kind of fell asleep after the Bethesda one because of how boring it was. So I didn't get a chance to make because I was going to group them up and I was going to do this last night, but I'm doing it this morning. Starting with the Microsoft one, I thought they exceeded expectations. I kind of felt coming into it, I thought they weren't going to do that good, but I'm going to go through the what they did, and I was kind of talk about it. First thing they kicked it off with, the first thing they showed was the new Halo. It's called Halo Infinite. Shows Master Chief at the end. Really, there was no gameplay. It was just showing that, oh yeah, we got a Halo game in the works. Really not much to say. Is it gonna be a mainline series? It's going with Infinite, so a lot of people think it's gonna be a spinoff. Don't know, but they did announce a new Halo, which is good. Hopefully, they can improve the story because 5 story wasn't good. They're just putting it out there. 5 story wasn't good. Multiplayer was solid though. Next game. Sorry if you hear a bunch of clicking. Next game was Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is the sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest. I'm not sure if they gave a release date for it for the people who are super hyped for the game. And it looks really good visually for the style that they're going for. I never played Ori and the Blind Forest, but it was a well loved game. But it says 2019 apparently. No concrete official date of what month, what day, anything like that. Next they showed Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. So if you remember, at PlayStation Experience at the end of last year, Sony showed like kind of a cryptic trailer, and then it showed Shadows Die Twice. A lot of people thought it was Bloodborne 2. Sony still can show Bloodborne 2. It will come completely out of nowhere at this point. But this was the game. It's made by From Software. This, I think they probably took a hiatus, or maybe they're done with the Dark Souls after 3. And this is the game they're making. Reminds people a lot of Neo. Coming to it, I thought it was Tenchu. I was like, wow, they're making another Tenchu game. And if you know, From Software owns that IP, so it wouldn't have been far-fetched for them to have a Tenchu game. So I wasn't disappointed. The game looks good, looks hard, as most From Software games. And at this point, their games are going to do well just because people like that challenge. So that was the game that they showed next. Next, they showed a brief trailer of Fallout 76. You actually see more of that at Bethesda's conference. I'm going to talk about that. Try not to stay on this video too long. Next, they showed Captain Spirit, which I think is a spinoff. It's in the same universe as Life is Strange. Never played Life is Strange. I know a lot of people like it. Next after that, Crackdown 3 looks better. Apparently Terry Crews, the character looks more like Terry Crews. Is he gonna be like the main character? Can you customize your own character? I don't know, but the game looks more polished than what they showed the last time they showed it, which was last year. So it looks more polished. Comes out February 2019. So February 2019 is packed. Games like Anthem. I know Days Gone's coming out. Of course, Crackdown. That was another game. Can't really think about it at the moment, but February is going to be packed. You'll probably see some of those games get pushed out of February until later in the springtime. Next, it showed Metro Exodus. Oh, that was the game I was thinking of. Metro Exodus. It got pushed. It was supposed to come out, I guess, later this year. It got pushed from this year to next year. Looks good. I like. I played Metro 2033. I played Metro Last Light. It's a good game. But yeah, Metro Exodus come out February 22nd of 2019. They showed Kingdom Hearts. They showed Frozen, of course. Who didn't think Frozen wasn't going to be in there? I think they showed Tangled. Who didn't think Frozen was going to be there? So they showed a few more of the worlds. What I want to see is a world. Now, I'm not one of these people who's super hyped for the game. But what I want to see is a world, and they have to do it because of how popular these IPs are. I mean, one movie just came out and is in the top 5 all time in terms of box office. That's Infinity War. Marvel's at a high. You have to, you still got the Square Enix conference. If they show Star Wars, because Disney owns them, if they show Star Wars, and go to a world with Star Wars, and they go to one with Marvel, Avengers or whatever, that will, you couldn't imagine how many people are gonna buy it who probably are on the fence about buying it. But they showed more about Kingdom Hearts 3. Talking about how it's gonna it's first coming to the Xbox console. It comes out January 29th. I think they said that before any of the conferences started. So we already know the date for that. Next, I predicted this in the video. Same with the Halo. Obviously not the name. Forza Horizon 4. It's gonna be in Britain. I was always hearing rumors it was gonna be in like Japan or whatever. But apparently it's like, I guess it's more open now, and you got seasons and stuff like that. This comes out this year, October 2nd. I'm not the biggest fan of the sim racing games, but Forza Horizon has always been like arcadey. I played the last one; it was pretty fun. So it's always been like arcadey more so than the mainline series. So if I had to pick between the two, I'm playing Horizon over the mainline series. Next, they talked about the new studios. The State of Decay Studios, Undead Labs, which at this point I said they might as well get them. The guys who made the Forza Horizon games, Playground games, they've been making games for them for years. The big one to me was Ninja Theory. This is the maker of Hellblade, and they made the DMC, which was kind of like a different universe Devil May Cry game. Solid gameplay. Don't like most of the characters, but it does have good gameplay. So this was a big acquisition. They also got Compulsion Games, which they make the game We Happy Few, which they ended up showing, and they got a new studio. What the hell is the name? The Initiative. Yeah, that was a new studio they ended up creating. So this is good for Microsoft, because one thing they've struggled with, they don't have a bunch of studios. So getting, acquiring studios that have already made games for you, and then of course making your own studio, then bringing in another one who can make some good games. Next, they showed Division 2. It's gonna be in DC. They showed extended gameplay, so obviously you want to check that out. That's there. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I know they've been really vague on this. More than likely, Square Enix is going to show more on it, but it comes out September 14th, and the advertisement hasn't been that great for it. I haven't really seen much for it, other than here and there, but I think it's going to be a good game. Last Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider was pretty good, so we'll have to see at what point she's at in her life. But that comes out September 14th of this year. Next game, exclusive. A lot of people thought this was Skate 4. I don't know what the hell is people's thing with Skate 4. Last I checked, wasn't that game buggy as hell? But it's called Session. No release date, but it is, I believe it's exclusive. I either said launch exclusive, or it was actually kind of like an in-house game. I'm not entirely sure. But it is, it's a new game. It's a skateboarding game. You don't got many of those. Like I said, people want to skate so bad, and people thought they kind of like, oh, here's the announcement for it or whatever. But it's called Session. That's really all we know about it. They showed a trailer, of course, no gameplay. Next, they showed Devil May Cry 5. Now, when it started out, I thought that was the DMC. I kind of ignored the title. It has the wings, and it has pretty much stands for It's the Roman numeral 5. I thought that was that that Dante from that universe. And no, it's Nero. Once I heard Johnny Young Boss, she was like, okay, that's Nero. Then you see Dante and you get gameplay. Looks great. It's Devil May Cry 5. This was heavily rumored to be at E3, and we get it. So it's definitely one of my top games. So if I do make a top list of games, it's definitely probably gonna be up there, depending on what's getting showed later today. Next they show DLC for Cuphead, which comes out next year. I wish they would have brought out online co-op. That was what kept me from really getting that game. I know it's a good game, but online co-op would have been great. Next, they show Jump Force, which is the Bandai Namco. It has kind of reminds me of J-Stars. Hopefully, it's not like that because J-Stars sucked. But it kind of reminds me of how the Naruto game. Now, but the J-Stars gameplay very similar, but graphically, it looks a lot better than the J-Stars game. You saw like Naruto. You saw some of the popular shonen. Shonen franchises, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, One Piece. So, those are the ones you saw. Obviously, there's going to be more characters. But it didn't get a release date. Of course, Bandai Namco's making it. Next, they showed Dying Light 2. Release date. But the first Dying Light was really good. I really liked the first Dying Light. Kind of came out of nowhere. It's the guys who made Dead Island, which was a buggy mess. Dying Light had its problems, but the parkour, all the different upgrades you can get made it really fun to play. Grappling hooks, even with the following DLC, which was, you can argue, was better than the base game. You had Doom buggy and whatnot. No release date on it, but that is definitely it definitely came out of nowhere. I didn't think they were working on that. Next, you have Battletoads. So, a Battletoads game is coming out. They're talking about 2019. Probably going to be a beat 'em up. Only really showed the title. No gameplay. Really no kind of CG trailer or nothing. So, just, letting people know what's coming out. Next, you showed Just Cause 4, which is a Square Enix game, right? December 4th of this year. So, we'll probably see more in-depth gameplay at Square Enix's conference. But, Just Cause, I haven't finished 3, but I can see why people like it, just because it's just over the top action. It's like an action movie. Okay, they showed Gears. Now, they did show mainline Gears. They showed Gears Pop for the mobile. Get that up out of here. They showed Gears. I'm gonna call it Tactics right now. No, well, it is called Gears Tactics. I'm sorry. If you've ever seen XCOM, it's pretty much Gears XCOM. But here's the fucking problem. It is a PC-only game. Now, my PC, I need to upgrade. It's bummy as hell. But why not bring that on the Xbox? It's not like they haven't brought those turn-based type games like a XCOM. I don't know if you remember Wasteland 2 that they brought out a couple years ago. Why not bring that to the Xbox? You brought out a RTS game in Halo Wars 1 and 2. Bring that out. It looks good. But they also do announce Gears of War 5. They show a little gameplay, kind of where the story's gonna go. But they did announce 3 Gears games, 2 of which you do care about. The other one, I think they were just trolling people. They're gonna bring it out, but they was like trolling people by showing that first, thinking that's gonna be the only Gears announcement. They also, Phil Spencer came up and said they're working on the next Xbox. It's really all he said, and I'm not surprised. After that, Cyberpunk 2077, we finally get some game. Well, I'm sorry, no gameplay. It was a trailer, but at least we get to see the world. Now people want to know more about it. But the world looks crazy, and it's CD Projekt Red. They made the Witcher series. Witcher 3 is one of my favorite games this generation. They know how to do the open world. They know how to do a story game, story-based game with dialogue, great choices, a bunch of different quests, a variety of quests. So hopefully Cyberpunk 2077 turns out to be good. they talked about Game Pass and some of the things like that. I won't really get into the Game Pass. It was mostly some of the really big announcements and of course the games. So for Xbox, I thought they did good, and this video still ended up going long, but who cares? I'm doing both those conferences. I'm gonna do the Bethesda one right now, but for Xbox, I'm gonna go with like a 7.5 for them. Also, they had a game called Tunic, which is it reminds me of the old Zelda games. It reminds me of the old Zelda games. If I missed anything, I think I got most of it. But if I missed anything, let me know down in the comment section. But I'm going to go with the 7.5 for Xbox. Moving on to Bethesda. Oh, man. This is obviously going to be a little bit quicker just because their conference wasn't as long as Microsoft, but was longer than I thought it would have been. And that's because it seemed like they were screwing up, having a bunch of technical issues. But they started with Rage 2, which looked better than the gameplay they showed. When the hell did they show it? Like a month ago. It looked better than that. Probably the best joke they made was the dude like talking trash about Walmart, how they did leak Rage and almost forced their hand to show it that early, which they didn't have to show it that early. They just showed it at E3. But this gameplay was definitely better. It definitely went in depth. Car combat looked better than the first one. The combat reminded me of I cannot think of the damn game. It's the game it reminds me of Gears, but it's just like wacky. You're sliding all around. It definitely looks better than the first. First Rage was boring, very boring. But the gameplay they did show looked pretty good. Then here comes the cringe. They had a concert with some guy wearing the tightest white pants you ever see and a dirty shirt. I don't know who this guy is. I'm sorry, people who do know who he is. I don't know who he is. So I literally muted because I was on my computer. I literally muted it because I didn't want to hear that garbage. So I didn't hear a single second of it. Don't care. They did show Doom Eternal, which is they're saying it's a sequel. Why not just call it Doom 2? I don't understand, but it is going to be a Doom, the next in the Doom games. Just a trailer, CG trailer, no gameplay. But at least we know one is in the work. They showed DLC for Prey, and they showed DLC for Wolfenstein. Fallout 76 gameplay, and they talked about the beta. One thing I'll give them credit for, ESO in comparison to like the Elder Scrolls games, doesn't look that good. But Fallout 76 looks just like Fallout 4 online. It's always online, kind of how I speculated. And it comes out this year, as a matter of fact. I think November 14th. They come out with a beta. Don't know when that's coming out. They do mention the beta, but didn't give a date. So maybe we'll get more information on the beta. Not super hype. I prefer the solo experience. And then there's a good chance it's going to be buggy. I guess that's why you come out with a beta. Because clearly you don't have a QA team. So why don't you get the players to play it? But from what I saw, it looked like it could be fun. But the question you have to always ask about Bethesda games, do they work? That's the question you have to always ask. That, and what about mods? Because that was the fun thing about playing the solo experience, like your Elder Scrolls and your Fallouts, was because of the modding community. You ain't gonna be able to really do that if it's an online only game, just because of balance. Yeah, they went quite into the gameplay. They showed Elder Scrolls Blades, which is a mobile game. My mobile phone couldn't run it anyway, and it's a mobile game. I don't care. Next, they showed Starfield. Really nothing, but kind of like a short trailer that they're actually gonna make it. I'm surprised they showed it. I mentioned it in my predictions video, but this game no release date or nothing. So we got nothing that they're just gonna make. It's gonna be a space kind of like open world type game. So that's what you got. Next they also showed the Elder Scrolls card game gonna come to the other platforms. Okay. Next they showed Elder Scrolls 6. Where it takes place, I don't know. You probably have to look into it, but they did show Elder Scrolls 6. And I think that's it for theirs. Now, here's the problem with this conference. You know, you like looking at the name of these games. Some of them are alright. You got your Doom, Rage 2 looked good. Announcement for Elder Scrolls 6, Starfield. They got a new game in the works. Here's the problem: the pacing of this conference was so bad. There were so many spots where it looked like guys were just rambling on to kind of either buy time because they were having technical difficulties, or just to waste our time because they didn't have a lot to show. So I seen better pacing in porn. Porn has better pacing. The porn movies with better pacing than this conference. This conference, our rate, I think they're better than EA, just because EA spent too much time on garbage sports games. But even then, I rated maybe a 4 out of 10. Like I said, some good announcements, but the presentation of it overall was awful. Lasted too long, and I think they had to extend the time because they were having all these problems. But you want to go back and watch some of these trailers, or you want to go back and watch the conference itself, I will link the conference itself down in the description, or maybe I'll forget, whatever. But let me know what you think down in the comment section. Of course, I will be doing the Sony one, and like I said, if Square Enix and or Ubisoft, kind of blows the doors open with a really pretty good conference, I'll talk about that. But I did enjoy the Microsoft, as I talked about earlier. And like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Probably already said that, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.